right, team, it's Tuesday, September 4th, and this is our branch out. Well, this is our moving on up call because we are moving on up. In the case of this call, this is mainly for current branch directors who are ready to move to area leader. And of course, those that are higher than that will join a call like that, because in order to move from area to division, you need to be helping people move from fashion director to branch and branch director to area, so that you can have the required number of branches and areas that you need for those division and senior division level promotions, as well as to build the volume that you need for those requirements as well. So I'm glad to see that we have upper level leaders on as well, and I know that some of you are watching back later. So first things first, I wanted to kind of take you through some of the benefits to moving from branch to moving to area, because it is one of the biggest jumps in all of Park Lane. And that's why I kind of separated you guys onto a separate call from the fashion directors this time, because currently you're making 35%. If you're a branch, you're currently making 35% of your personal sales. And then you're getting like this weird little weekly override, right? Like you get 5% of the first 300 and then 6% of the next 300. It's kind of hard to even figure out. Well, when you move to area, you're getting two significant jumps, because you're going to move from 35% personal commission to 40 personal commission. And you're then moving to a huge jump on your downline overrides. And that's really one of the biggest differences. So currently, somebody that you're getting like this little graduated override on, you're jumping to 10%. Any fashion director under you as an area, you get 10% of their sales. And any branch director under you, you get 6% of her and her team. That is a tremendous difference. I want to show you where you can find this information, by the way. So many tabs open. Okay, so when you go to the downloads in the field interface, see this sharing the opportunity booklet? This is not that little sharing brochure anymore that Nancy showed us at 2 conventions ago. This is the full-fledged brochure that you use to do an interview, or when your leader coaches you, that we can work with to show you how to advance. So, here is where you are right now, branch director, right? And you're getting 35% personal, and then this is the weekly incremental override that you're getting. But to move to area leader, look at what you need, which is down here at the bottom. 3 team recruits, and in addition to the 1 person who got you to branch, right? So it's really a total of 4 on your team roster, because 1 person got you to branch. Now you need 3 more. 1 of them needs to be recruited personally by you, but then the other 2 can be recruited by your other team members. So it can be from the original person who promoted you to branch. It can be from the last person. It can be from anywhere on your team. Or it can be that you recruit all of them. That's fine. So they all need to be qualified and active. And then you need team volume of 5,000 in net sales. So that's the 2 things that you need. And look what you're going to be entitled to when you do this. This here is what an area leader earns. So you get 40% commission personal. So that means that when you're doing $1,000 show, you're making $400. When you first signed up, you were getting $300, and you're currently getting $350. Now you're going to $400. Over the course of a month that you do 4 shows like that, that's an extra, what is that? Like $200. That's a lot of money, right? Plus you're getting a huge jump on your fashion directors. So if your fashion directors sell $2,000, you're getting 10% of that. Right now, you're getting a teeny tiny fraction of that. That's another $200. Now, you're getting $200, let's say, from your personal. An extra $200 from this, that's $400. Who needs $400 more? Would you like to see $400 more in your paycheck? What does $400 more in your paycheck mean when payday comes for you in your household? I mean, $400 in this house could do lots of different things. It can do 2 trips to BJ's. It can be, let's see, it's not enough for anybody's tuition payment, but it is definitely 2 trips to BJ's. It is, you know, gas for at least one of the cars for the whole month. It's every time something seems to go wrong. Oh, when your teenager gets a ticket on his way to school for a busted tail light that he knew nothing about, and then you're going to have to go to court to get it dismissed, I believe that might put a dent in some of that. So, you know, all these different things, what can it do in your house? Is it going to pay the bill for the braces on your teenager's teeth that month? There's tons of preschools that cost about that much a month. All your daycare may be costing you about that much. So this is a big jump for you. Now, one of the other bonuses that I always point out to the areas that they themselves sometimes miss is this note here at the bottom. So earn an extra 10% commission, $2,500 in personal volume, and 8 active directors who submit at least 300 in the same commission month. So you as an area leader can earn 50% commission when you have 8 active team members. And you will have 8 active team members in the days where you're starting to promote the division. So that is something that I feel like a lot of areas sometimes miss out on, that's a big jump that you can even get for yourself just by having those 8 active directors. So when you have a whole team that's recruiting and it's not just you doing the recruiting, you'll notice that you can get to 8 a whole lot faster. So I want to show you, again, on the field interface, where the visual is that you can print out. Because over here in the commission department section, is where the promotion process forms, like trackers are. So when you click this, here it is, area promotion, promote to area, download here. Look at this quite fabulous visual to help you see yourself get to area. So after becoming a branch director, which was when you got your first recruit, sponsor 3 team members, minimum 1 personal. Each needs to be fully qualified with 1,000 net and on in their first 5 weeks. Okay, so here are the 3 more people. Now you may want to draw yourself a little extra circle here to remind you that the first person who got you to branch cannot be one of these 3. Okay? And then step 2 is that 5,000 in personal and group volume net in 1 month between you and any 3 active team members. So in that case, it can be this person from over here plus or whatever. Now this part though is not correct. This has to be 300 net sales. This flyer has not been updated, I just noticed. So that needs to say 300 during the promoting month. Then you will promote to area and get this big giant raise, the extra 5% for yourself, and now you're earning 10% on all of your fashion directors and 3% for anyone who's a branch and the people under them. So as you decide, if you're deciding today that I definitely do want to promote to branch, then what comes next is, you know, a series of action steps that you're going to need to take. And one of the things that you need to kind of be firm about before you get started in this is, why do you want it in the first place, right? So you may have heard this before, and not just from your direct sales business here at Park Lane, but you may have heard this at your gym. You may have heard this in any kind of goal-setting environment that you've been in, where you need to know why you want it. So you'll hear, you know, what is your why? And the why has to be strong enough that when you start running into problems, when people become annoying, when people let you down, when a hostess cancels, when a recruit doesn't put in her show that she said she was going to put in, that you're going to persevere and keep going even when you don't feel like it, because there are going to be days that you don't feel like making calls, and there are going to be days that you don't feel like answering the ringing phone that has your recruit on the other end of it. Okay, there are going to be days that you don't feel like conducting the third training call in the same night. But guess what? You do it anyway because the why that you're doing it is stronger, or it's strong enough to push through. Because you don't just do a cartwheel and land on area. It comes with challenges, and moving towards any of these bigger goals comes with challenges. And you may not get it the first month that you try. Maybe you will. Lots of people do, but lots of people don't. So what is the reason why you want this? Now, is it a financial why? So in other words, you know what? If I go to area and I help a team sell $5,000 a month, that I'm getting 10% of that, that's an extra $500 for me. And if I myself sell $2,500, that's an extra, you know, however much for me. And that extra $800 a month I need in order to, and then what is it that you're going to be able to do? So have you had an old cruddy kitchen that you're like, this is ridiculous, I'm sick of this old broken oven, and I'm going to make this extra money and get an oven or do a kitchen remodel? Or I can't stand this school that my kid is in, and if I can make a solid extra $800 a month, I can send them to private school. Then when somebody, you know, cancels their show, and you know that replacing that show is the difference between your kids staying in the school you hate and going to a school you like better, you bet you know what, that you're going to pick up that phone and find a way to replace that show. Is it the car that is constantly breaking down and you spend all your extra money fixing it and you just wish you could get a new one by now already? Are you sick of paying daycare for a job that only pays you marginally more than you pay for the daycare, and if you make just enough extra, you'd be able to stay home and then save those costs? These are the things that you need to identify so that when you do run into the challenges and you start complaining to your leader about it, and everyone does at some point, okay, please don't think like, oh, but that never happens to Michelle. Everything must just rain glitter in her office. No, she never gets any cancellations, and no one ever annoys her, and everything just goes so well for her. No, that is not how it goes. There are leaders that come to me with issues, and I, of course, help them work through it. I go to Mary Grace with things, and she helps me through that. I have hostesses cancel. I have guests that take 900 hours to decide what they want on a holiday Monday when I just want to get home and go to the beach. But these are the things that we work through and that I work through because my why is strong enough. I pay a lot of different things in this house, and without bringing that money in, then my household's going to have a problem. So if it's a less tangible reason why you want leadership, where I remember it wasn't so much for leadership, it was just starting in the business. But I remember I had a team member once tell me one time, you said that when you were talking about the money you make and stuff, but that it required, that I talk in front of people. She said that she was going to not ask for the information, but then she said to herself, you know what? I am 40 years old, and this can be a way for me to finally get over my fear of talking in front of everyone, in front of people. And she is still in the business. Still in direct sales, and I always think back about what a nice thing that is that I was able to inspire somebody enough to want to overcome something in full-blown adulthood where she could have just decided to ride it out being afraid of talking in front of people. She made it 40 years, but she wanted to change that part of her life and of that personality, and she did, and she feels so good about that. So, again, that's why you kind of have to know what your reasons are. So I do encourage you to print this out from that commission section so that you can write here the name of that person and the name of this person and the name of this person, and you can track. You can just write right here, 5,000 minus how much sales do you have now, you and your team members. That's how much you have to go. And then how much, the next day sales go in, you can keep deducting, or you can do the deducting on the back. But when you keep track of how much you have to go, you will not come up short unexpectedly on the last day because you're watching it all along. Or when you see that you are coming up a little short as the last 2 days are coming up, you can see it in time to do something about it and not just realize it at midnight on the last day and be like, oh, I thought we had it. I guess we don't. And then go to bed. No, you come up with a plan. I have 2 days left. How can I still get $2,000? How can I still get $1,000 with 8 hours to go? Because these are all numbers, and much higher than that even, that have been overcome with hours or days left to go. And we are able to do it when you are working a plan and when you are tracking. I can't emphasize to you all enough how important tracking is. And it never has to be fancy. You can have a piece of paper that on the left says 1, 2, 3, and that is the 3 people you need to still recruit. And you can have 5,000 minus and a running math problem on the right. That's a tracker to area. Just as much as this fancy one is, just as much as anything else that people make on their computer that looks pretty and is fancy. I am terrible at that stuff, so I am one where each month I grab a piece of paper out of my printer, or I turn a piece of paper over or something. And this is how I track our team recruiting. And each Friday I check the report, I cross-reference to what I have on here, who needs what, and then I put the piece of paper aside. And then sometimes in 2 weeks I can't find that piece of paper and I have to start a new tracker. And I do it anyway because it's important to track what we're going for. So guess what? In a normal month when you are going towards this promotion, you would earn rich rewards. But in this month, because we are in the September being Shirley's birthday celebration, guess what? Here in the Fields interface, in the downloads, we get to use our Style Boss contest tracker. So if you've chosen to promote, this is the month to do it. And it's the month to help someone else promote. Because if you're trying to promote to area, chances are there's a branch promotion going to happen under you along the way. So if you have a fashion director on your team, she should be finding one of the 3 recruits that you need. And if she does it in September, look what those two people are going to get. The new recruit selling 1,000 is getting the rose earrings, and the new recruiter recruiting one, I mean, any recruiter is getting it, but I'm just saying the girl doing the recruiting is getting a $100 gift card. Now, if that same person is a fashion director right now, she's going to go to branch director. And branch directors at all promotions are getting additional gift cards this month. So she's going to get $250 for the promotion to branch and $100 for the recruit one that we have here for September. So just from working towards area, this little part of one of your fashion directors recruiting and qualifying one person yields earrings and $350 worth of gift cards, and you're closer to your goal of area. If you choose to do all of the recruiting needed for your promotion, and you may even be a fashion director right now, well, look how you could get all 4 in this birthday month, and look what you would get along the way. With the first recruit, let's say you had to do 3. With the first recruit, you're getting a $100 gift card. With the second recruit, you're getting a $300 gift card, because we get that every month with Rich Rewards. It's so overlooked. So you're up to $400 in gift cards because you added 2 people to your team. Now, of course, to get that third recruit that you need, either of these people can recruit this person, and you're going to promote to area, and you're going to receive a $500 Style Boss promotion gift card. The Boss Cash, whatever they call it. We got a lot of different words and promotions this month. But you're getting a $500 gift card if you promote to area in September. So that's a whole lot of extra gift cards and gifts going out, and you didn't even see your paycheck yet. Now, if you decided you were going to recruit all 3, then you'd be coloring this one in. So if you're going to do that, you might as well find a 4th, because that's another $300 in gift cards for you, again, through your Rich Rewards. $300, $600, $700, plus the $500 for promoting to area. That is $1,200 in gift cards. That's not even normal. Now, of course, in doing so, you're going to be out doing shows, and you're going to be building up the sales for the sales portion of the cake and getting some gift cards in there as well. I was only focusing on what you would get as just through your recruiting, all the gift cards that are available to you. So a big part of what you have to decide is, do you believe enough to get this done? Do you believe in the reason why you want it enough? And do you believe in what we have to offer, right? The people that are here, do you believe that the Levines are providing enough for us? Do you believe that the leader that helps you day in and day out is good enough to help you train somebody else? Or that the leader above her is good enough? Is this leadership team here good enough to get the job done alongside you and help you every step of the way? The products, right? This is so much more than jewelry, but even if you want to talk about that, it's jewelry, right? Look what it does for women's self-esteem and for how it makes people feel. When you do your shows, you know, how people just put stuff on and they just love themselves and they give it compliments and they get compliments. This is something that a lot of people don't really get to experience on a regular basis. The programs. This is where the true belief ends. You know, this is really, really where it comes in, because when you believe in the programs, let's think about what our programs are. The first program we have is our customer sale. Now, you've all been to plenty of different kinds of home shows, right? Have you ever been offered a sale, anything remotely like what we offer people? They're getting half price items of like $100 plus because they bought two $18 pairs of earrings. Never in a million years, right? Are they able to add two $200 pieces for $25 on top of that? Like, there's just no customer sale that exists like the one we're out there offering. Then there's the hostess plan. Oh my gosh, have you hosted a home party of anything in recent memory? Because it's unbelievable how little other programs give. Mary Grace was telling me that she had an oils party, and she never does this, but she actually did want a couple of oils, so she had the party. She said that the girl said to her, the girl had the jewelry party first, because she did have a show with Mary Grace. Mary Grace, of course, she got like, you know, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of jewelry and stuff. The girl had to go to her with like her tail between her legs, really, and be like, I'm so sorry, but just so you know, like, you don't get anything for having the party. Like, it's just, like, there was no host plan. There was no host plan. So Mary Grace had a party and didn't really get any hostess benefits of any kind. There was no set program of any kind. Look at what we do. If you had a hostess collect or host a show that 10 girls bought $30 Summit necklaces, okay? 10 friends all wanted to be twinsies, and they all bought a Summit necklace. That would be $300 net on the dot, right? But how much would that hostess receive in credit? Right, $400 in credit, and you could even do the extra 100 in the Fast 50s. So she could really get $500 in credit when only $300 had been sold. Why is Park Lane willing to give some hostesses more than they even sold? Because when the jewelry is out there on people, it's making people happy. It's getting us more ambassadors for our business. At that show, maybe we met the next $1,000 hostess. Maybe that show will lead us to the next amazing recruit on our team. So Park Lane can be as generous as they are. Of course, not every show is 300, which is another reason they can do it. But, you know, this is a hostess program like none other. And then the pay program. I'm going to tell you right now, I worked for another company for over 14 years. I promoted in level 5 times, and then had this little side title that you could work towards called Elite Seller. And if you sold whatever the amount was, it was close to like 100,000. For the past 12 rolling months, so it was something you had to work for a year to even get to, then they would pay you an extra percent or 2%. I'm starting to forget the details now of your personal sales. So promoting 5 times and being an elite seller allowed me to earn 33%. Now, I was on with the fashion directors right before this call. I said, so the minute you promote for the first time to branch, you will already be earning more than I did after promoting 5 times and being an elite seller, which took me 8 years to do. So if that right there doesn't tell you that the programs are better than the majority of what's out there, never mind that as you start to look at, again, what's available to you. Let's go back to the videotape. So the new brochures are updated. So this is the Sharing the Opportunity booklet. So this has been updated. And here is where you're going to see. This is great for using on an interview, by the way, because it's showing all the programs. That's our hostess program. The benefits to selling Park Lane, the kit options, and then it's showing each level and then what it takes to go to the next level, right? So you're here, you're at branch director, this is what you're currently earning, and this is what it takes to go to area, which we already went over, 3 more recruits, they're all qualified. Any 3 recruits need to be active with 300, 5,000 in net sales. Now you'll go to area leader. Now notice how as each level continues, there's more and more perks written in the body of the block here. So area leaders earn 40 to 50% commission. So 40% is what they get paid personal at first. They get the 10% on the fashion directors, 6% on branches and their groups. With annual sales of certain amounts, you can get an annual bonus. And then here's this little extra gem for area directors. You get an extra 10% on your personal sales when you personally sell 2,500 and you have 8 active stylists on your team with the 300 in sales. So that's a very reasonable number as you start to get towards division. Divisions, notice how divisions go up another 5. Then you're getting a weekly group volume override on what your team sells. You get a monthly that is increased from what you get as an area. There's recruiting and monthly recruiting and sales bonuses. This is an extra $1,000 available on the table every single month. And of course, all of these levels, you can start working towards your Mercedes. And once again, that's a perk normally reserved for executive leaders at other companies. So the programs are just not to be believed. I remember on my interview looking at this and saying, oh my God, this is like a real sales job where there's like bonuses and stuff. There were no cash bonuses at my other company. I don't even know of other companies that do that. Right? My bonuses, they were like, sell X amount and we're going to send you a pen. I am not kidding. Like a logo pen, a logo mug, a logo tote bag. I had to throw out, you can't even believe how many tote bags, pens, and mugs, especially pens, and these were all items that showed up on my 1099 at the end of the year. Ridiculous. Here, it's cash, it's cars, and it's trips, which is, of course, amazing. So, do you believe in yourself? Do you have enough belief in what you have to offer? And are you confident enough to go out there and just decide what you want for your business? When you walk into a show, decide who you want to work with and go straight for that person and let them know why you would love to have them on your team. Invite them to learn more. Invite them to jump on a call with your leader. Invite them to the opportunity event tomorrow night that we're having here on Facebook so that you can really start building that team, because branch is just a teeny tiny taste of what's actually available to you at leadership. So I had put this into the file section of the Shine On page, which is a list, a form to help you think of people that you can still invite to learn more about Park Lane. It's all different categories, so business people, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and it gives you subcategories of people to think of, customers, hosts, and start making a list so that you can start reaching out and say, hey, I'm actually in a leadership program with my leader in New York, and we're having an event tomorrow night on Facebook that I would love for you to hear the information she's going to share, and just tell me what you think of the event. Would it be okay if I put you in there? I feel like you might enjoy it. And then just get some people added to that Facebook event, and maybe they'll hear something that I say tomorrow night that will make them want to learn more about the business. So you have a couple of tasks before we do call 2 next week. This is a 3-call series. So next week, what I need you to do beforehand is to have lots of names on this list. Again, this is in the file section in the team page. I need you to put at least 2 new shows on your calendar, because without being in front of people, it's a lot harder to find those 3 recruits, because now you have to find them in regular world. Regular world, it's a lot harder to see who likes jewelry. Show world, they're all sitting in front of you on a couch. And it's just a matter of who wants it the fastest, who wants it the most. So do add at least 2 new shows to your calendar that are going to happen in September so that you can get in front of enough people. And then just invite some people onto that Facebook event tomorrow night. So you have 3 what should not be painful tasks. So that next week when we continue on with how you can invite people onto your team, how you can invite people to learn more about the business and the language to use and how to do it, you'll be more able to actually go ahead and use that information because you're going to have more opportunities to do it. So I'm going to stop the recording so that I can do some Q&A. So for those that are watching the playback, if you have any questions, then message your leader or message me so we can get those questions answered. All right.